So, Jagex appears to be in a bit of trouble. Let's talk about that. So, obviously, anyone who's playing old school Runescape pretty much has heard at this point about the protests being held in Falador over the HD client being removed hours before it was set to be released. Now, I've done my research, and from what I've seen online, it has nothing to do with the old school RuneScape team themselves. It's more the higher-ups at Jagex that are causing the problem. And I've been keeping up to date on Twitter, and they're hopefully looking in a way to use the RuneLite HD client until they can bridge to make their own, which is fine. That's all well and dandy, but I think that this whole problem is a symptom of a much bigger issue that they have. So for anyone who watches people like Serpoga, he's the biggest one when it comes to bot busting, or Framed, Crumb, Torvesta sometimes. You see all the botting problems in old school RuneScape, all the scamming issues and all that stuff, and all of those are all symptoms of the major problem at Jagex. And that seems to be their inability to actually combat any kind of problem with people. Now, hear me out before you all go to the comments and say that I'm not a fan of RuneScape or whatever. I am. I've played a lot of old school RuneScape in my time. In fact, I was planning on I take breaks from the game quite frequently because I get burnt out if I play it too much. And I was anticipating the HD client, and I was going to come back once the HD client was released so I could play it, hopefully do some streams of it on Twitch. But, hopefully they do allow that to come out, but it all is a symptom of a bigger problem. So forgive me if I seem a bit jittery. It's because I've not done a talk video like this before, so I'm just straight talking to you guys. So, like I said, I'm an avid fan, and I was hopefully waiting for the HD client. Hopefully it doesn't take too long for them to sort something out. Hopefully they do. If they don't, I probably won't come back, because there's no reason for me to come back. But hopefully, they allow it to come out. But the whole botting, scamming, macroing situation is another part of the problem, and Jagex's inability to give proper support is the other part of the problem. So, regardless of how much good work Jagex do towards the game itself, there appears to be no real interaction between the mod team, or the higher-ups, and the people playing the game. For example, say for example you're hacked, and someone takes your account, bots with it, gets it banned, you then have to go through some weird appeal process which might not even result in your account being restored, because they just think that you were the one botting and not someone else. Or, if push comes to shove, you get scammed and you try and report a scammer, odds are they might not get banned. It's really wild. Now don't get me wrong, I understand that there are so many people botting or scamming or all of this stuff because there is a massive real world trade for OSRS gold in real life, which is weird to me, but okay. That they might not catch everyone, and that's fine, but you see it all the time online. Again, people like Serpoga who do videos, so shout out to Serpoga. He is a cool dude. Watch his stuff, it's cool. There just seems to be no real interaction with them, they don't post updates on Twitter or anything, saying we've busted this many bots today, or they'll do the occasional dev stream on Twitch or YouTube and say stuff then, but that's about it. You don't really get anything from them, and it just seems weird to me that a game so into its community that they are so far away from their community, if that makes sense. The game is all about community. Not many people play RuneScape on their TOD. Most people play it with friends, or have virtual friends online that they play with, or whatever. Or Twitch streamers, play with viewers and do raids and all this cool stuff. It just seems weird to me that a game that's so around a community that either the mod team or the higher-ups don't seem invested in that community at all, and literally just keep the game running. They ban bots and scammers and stuff, but again, people still get away with it. And like I said, the other part of the problem is their appeals process. Their appeals process is complete garbage. It's by far the worst appeals process I've ever seen. It's literally, you submit a report, and then if they accept the report, they'll unban you. If they don't, then you stay permabanned. It's stupid. You can't even call them because there's no number to call them. There's no online chat. There's no nothing. which is weird, because like every other developer has at least a contact number or a contact email or something. You get nothing with Jagex. So, quick story time. About 2 years ago, I was playing RS3, which I shared the same account with my old school main, because you can. So like I'd play RS3 and old school on the same account, pretty much. And a friend of mine wanted to use my account at his house so that he could like use my high stats to earn GP in game, then trade it to his account, because he didn't have high stats and he wanted to, you know, earn enough in-game currency in RS3 to make a bond, which at the time was like 16 mil, which I could do quite easily on my account. It'd take time, but I could do it. But I wasn't playing at the time, so he has to borrow the account. I'm like, okay, sure mate, no problem. Now, he set up like an auto-clicker, and he didn't know at the time that that was against the game rules. So of course my account got banned for macroing. And then when I appealed the ban, my account stayed permabanned, which really ticked me off, because I had that RS3 account since like 2009. Now, to be fair, had my friend told me what he was going to do, I'd have told him not to do it, but he didn't tell me that's what was his intention was. He was literally just doing that. He didn't tell me till after the fact, and I'm like, well, you could have told me. Whatever, that's my problem, I get it. You know, I shouldn't have loaned him my account to begin with, let alone let him macro on it. Fine. But the fact that I couldn't even appeal the process correctly, because you can't speak to anyone. All it is some crappy appeal. Like, it's some stupid form you fill in, takes about 2 minutes, and then a day, maybe a couple days later, you get an email back saying, yep, you've been rejected because we've looked at it. No, you haven't. You've not looked at the appeal at all. You've literally given me the same garbage response I see online all the time with people who, you know, in similar situations get screwed because of crap like that. It's completely baffling to me. Not to mention, the absolute biggest hemorrhoid on this game is the duel arena, and yet they still haven't removed it, which is weird, because like for the past decade, well, not decade, obviously it hasn't been going for that long, but ever since old school has been massive, like it is the biggest MMO in my opinion. The duel arena has been there, and it has been the biggest cesspool for scamming or real world trading or just blatant disregard for any kind of safety whatsoever. Like, people get scammed there all the time, people get DDoSed. It's insanity, and yet they won't do anything about it. It's weird. Like, so it either just seems that Jagex just doesn't care, or they just, you know, don't want to risk losing a lot of players because of closing down something that's just making their game into a giant cesspool. Not to mention, another reason why I take frequent breaks is because I find it hard to earn GP while skilling. Because any half-decent moneymaker has already been made redundant because of bots. Like, bots either make it so that what you get from the skilling just doesn't sell very well because there's already an influx of it in the GE, or because there's just a million bots. Like, for an example, you go on any free-to-play world outside of Varrock's GE, and there's like 3 U trees, and you'll see like 50 bots on every free-to-play world just cutting U's. Now, U-tree logs used to be like 500 GP each. They're like 100 now, because, you know, there's so many of them being bought and sold, because obviously bots are just botting them like crazy and just getting away with it. And it's not really a hard requirement. It takes, what, about 10 hours of botting to get to 60 woodcutting? It's not that bad. And because of how quick bots' response time is, they can just keep dropping all the inventory of logs and just keep cutting. It's insane. And whilst Jagex is, no offense, being a bit lazy about it, and being lazy with the whole appeal process, and just not really caring too much about the community, I will not be returning to old school RuneScape. I was planning on doing it once RuneLite HD came out, and I might still, you know, if they allow RuneLite HD, but until they fix the gaping wounds over the game, I won't be playing it, because I'm not going to waste my time on a game where I'm going to spend 150 hours doing heavy grind on all my skills, to then not really be able to see much of a reward from it because of either botters, scammers, or just the game itself being a bit weird. But anyway guys, hopefully you enjoyed this Real Talk video. I'll call it the Real Talk series. If you want more real talk videos on a variety of topics, don't forget to just say we want more in the comment section below. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that like button because it really does help with the algorithm. And don't forget to join me on Twitch. If you just want a chill place to go whilst you're playing old school RuneScape or any other game for that matter, just join me on Twitch. That link is in the description below. And I'll see you guys next time.